What's up, everybody? So we're actually out here. We were shooting a totally different video. You'll have to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss that. But I'm out here with the Nikon Z8 and the 85-1.2S. And then Chris is over here with the... Tell him what you got, Chris.
I got the EF70-200 on a Canon R5c. I've got the EF to R adapter, and we're going to shoot at, what, 85 millimeters?
Yeah, and so what we're gonna do, we got Allie over there. People always talk about, you know, the differences between Canon and Nikon and like the color science. And while I agree that there is a difference, I feel like it doesn't really matter, and we can all get along like me and Chris are doing right here. I mean, he assaulted me earlier, but you know, on
That's not on camera.
No, it's not on camera. But anyway, I don't really think it matters.
All right, so I'm here with the Canon R5c, and we're doing some VR video here. I'm going to show this to you. This looks freaking crazy. So it has two lenses, and this is a VR 180 lens, so it's taking a 180 degree field of view. So even though Allie's like super close to me, it's getting all of this information. And then when we go to edit this in post, it's going to take these two images, because it actually records two like circular dots onto the frame, and it's going to superimpose those. And then when it does that, it's going to give you like a 3D depth perception in the film. So this is really cool technology. It's still like in the very beginning infant stages, and it is super weird to look at this camera and see two lenses.
You know what? It is absolutely massive, but it is not that heavy. Even with like the brick on the bottom, it is not that heavy, like at all.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, kind of.
All right, so hit the button's up there in the front. All right, now you're recording.
Oh my God, it's crazy. It's so crazy.
Here, yeah, you're already, so like if you hit this button here, that's what it's seeing, but I've got it set up to magnify. So hit that button again. Now you're only seeing the right eye.
What?
And that will give you false color, so you know the exposure is right. And then it has focus peaking, so all the blue lines are what's in focus.
So as much as I do love Nikon, right? This is the reason that people that are way more serious about like video stuff, this is why you see them with like Canons and not Nikons, right? Because like if you're serious about video stuff, like this just makes sense. This is wacky. All the different things that you can do and like all the different buttons like for video, I wouldn't know what to do with it shooting photography, but you know, for video, it just makes sense why people do Canon for like video.
What's super hot about this camera is the
fact that I'm holding it?
No, R5c, so it's actually a photo camera with one switch, and then you move to the video switch, and it's
I see that.
Cinema camera, so it has actually two different menus. So a lot of these hybrid cameras, they'll have the same menu for both photo and video on the firmware on the back end. This actually has two separate firmwares basically inside the camera. So it has their EOS Cinema line firmware for the video, and then it has the photo, firmware for the photo stuff. So it really is pretty cool. So this is a hybrid camera, but it's really kind of the best of both worlds if you're going to be shooting photos and video. And in this whole shoot, I've been swapping the video, swapping from video to photo lenses and back, and it's really been kind of fun.
Yeah, it's just crazy light. I was expecting it to be super heavy.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and shoot it. Set it to like 85.
85 millimeters, and we're doing
just if you could just take like a raw. If you just take like a raw image, and I'll compare raw versus raw.
Raw versus raw.
And call it good.
All right, we got it.
Okay, now look at both of these, Allie, and tell me which one's your favorite. Keeping in mind that you're a partner of this channel.
Oh yeah.
And there's no wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer.
I mean, your job definitely does not depend on this.
Oh God.
I think we should show them.
I think you should show them first. So we're gonna cut here. And
all right, let's check it out. All right, so there's the Nikon, and there's the Canon.
The Canon gives more of like a bright white filter to it. The Nikon over here is giving more of like a grungy bit of a gray tone, just from both the same settings.
It's
a little bit brighter.
I would have let you be a member. Chris and I both shot raw images, and I keep mine in like neutral, and so I like seeing everything in neutral because it gives me an idea of what the raw image looks like, and it helps me monitor kind of what the natural scene is looking like. And if I wanted my image to look displayed, Like Chris's, I would set it to like maybe vivid or something like that. So his has like a little bit of color. But I'll see you in Lightroom and we'll both kind of see the actual raw images and what they look like. And then I'll put one of my presets on Chris's image and claim it as my own and sell it.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Do I get a cut?
Huh? All right, so we're in Lightroom. I have the raw image from the Canon R5c and the raw image from the Nikon Z8. The image we're looking at right now is the Canon R5c RAW. Now let's look at the Nikon Z8 RAW. As we can see, there is just a tiny difference in tone. The Z8 is a little more warm than the R5c. Now, interestingly, if you want to make them look basically the exact same, okay, and I think I've settled on -5 on temp and +4 on tint. And there's still like barely slight differences, but I don't think anybody that has been shooting a lifetime with either camera, if they looked at these side by side, I don't know that they'd be able to guess which one is which. Now, these are basically unedited, right? The only thing I did was that little bit of temp and tint to make them close to each other. Let's randomly throw +41 contrast on the R5c. Now let's throw 41 on the Z8. They look even more like each other. And I just picked one of my presets, threw it on the R5c, and that's the Z8. So once you get the editing in, nobody on this planet would be able to tell the difference between the two once you throw something like a preset on it. And we already saw that even like a minor adjustment of like only doing contrast, you're never going to be able to tell the difference. So we don't have to argue. We can just be friends. In reality, there was a time when the Canon versus Nikon kind of argument was just like a fun banter and like everybody got along. I don't know if it's just if YouTube did it or the anonymity, slight anonymity of the internet did it, but people like fighting and fanboying, dying on the hill of this versus that, at least as it like applies to like sensor, color, whatever, or detail or whatever. Like it's, unless you just put out raw images to your clients, like it doesn't matter, which you shouldn't do. If you just do like a slight adjustment, like there's nothing to argue about. I miss the days when people just didn't fight about cameras. And maybe it's one of those things where when you're out in the field around other people and there's consequences for you shooting your mouth off, like people are just nicer. But like on YouTube in the comments, like the fights are just so silly. Canon, Nikon, who really cares? Buy the glass that you like. I'm ZWade, the ZWade, and ZWade Photo. Stay sharp, YouTube.